Anybody there? What's happening, everybody? Welcome to the Wilbur and Gold Show. I am your host, Will Dalton, aka Wilbur and Gold. I was already planning to do this tonight. I'm actually kind of tired. It's 10 o'clock at the moment, Eastern time. But I wanted to do an episode. I hadn't done one in a few weeks. And I said, fuck it. I'm going to do an episode. Damn it. And then I was actually kind of tired. Still am a little bit. But I got fired up just for a little bit because apparently Iron Man 2 is trending on Twitter. And I went to see why. And apparently it's because Iron Man 2 is being there's an ongoing debate right now that apparently people are trying to compare Iron Man 2 and then the Batman versus Superman movie, which fired me up because I'm a giant Iron Man and Spider-Man fan. Those are my two superheroes. It's hard for me to, it's not hard for me to say because, again, Iron Man's one of my favorite superheroes, so any other superhero not named Spider-Man can fuck off. But I actually haven't seen Batman versus Superman, so it's kind of hard for me to sit here and, put a stake in the ground and just be like, oh, well, this is what it is. This movie's inferior to this one, even though Iron Man 2 is inferior to Batman versus Superman because, Iron Man fans. So just wanted to get that off my chest. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody's had a good Friday. Hope everybody's had a good week. Hope everybody's all fired the fuck up for the weekend. PS5's out. Xbox Series X is out. Have not secured either one. Well, I haven't secured my copy of the PS5 yet because if you didn't know, I'm a PlayStation guy. I've always been a PlayStation guy. I'll always be a PlayStation guy. Haven't really decided when I'm going to get my PS5 just yet. It'll be sometime by Christmas. Sometime. Because basically what I'm going to do is I've got a gold 1 terabyte PS4 Slim. I actually probably should look at that. I haven't looked. In fact, let me take a look at that right now while I'm thinking about it. What I'm planning to do is I'm going to sell my PS4 and then just put that money towards getting a PS5. A part of me wondered if I was going to get a PS5 at launch, just because one, I'd never bought any console at launch. I remember the first console I ever owned was the Nintendo 64. Somebody that was my neighbor at the time had an extra and they gave it to me along with, as far as games, they gave me Toy Story 2, Banjo-Kazooie, and then obviously the GOAT, or one of the GOATs, Super Mario 64, which absolutely loved all three of those games. I miss them, and eventually I want to get like every console that I've ever played or owned or liked. Probably, I don't know if I'd ever get a PS4 again just because it's backwards compatible for the PS5. However, I wouldn't mind having a PS3 again so I could play college video games. I wouldn't mind having a PS2 again so I could play all my OG Star Wars games because if you were a Star Wars fan and you had a PS2, you know how that was like the golden era of Star Wars games for video games. And then the Nintendo 64 because I miss that. And then there's a lot of games that I've played since I've sold my Nintendo 60. It's funny, I sold my Nintendo 64 like that the day that I bought my PS2. I sold it at a yard sale, $20, because I remember I was trying to save up to get a PS2 so I could play the new Star Wars Battlefront game, the second one, the good one. And I was trying to save up, and I remember I needed like $30 more, or something like that. And we were having a yard sale. And so I literally just went and yeeted my Nintendo 64 out of the cabinet. And I'm like, fuck it, $20. And boom, within like 30 minutes, somebody bought it, $20 cash. And then I'm pretty sure I sold some other stuff at the yard sale, and I marched my ass to Blockbuster Video. Yes, Blockbuster Video is where I bought my PS2. Rip to Blockbuster. And my ass played Star Wars Battlefront 2 for the rest of the night. And Tony Hawk Underground 2, by the way. Those were kind of my bread and butter on the PS2. And MVP Baseball 2005, I want to say. It was either 2004 or 2005. And then College Hoops 2K7. Those 4 games right there were my bread and butter on the PlayStation 2. Star Wars Battlefront 2. Actually, 5 games. I had a little 5-game rotation of my favorite games. It was Star Wars Battlefront 2, Star Wars Revenge of the Sith, Episode 3. And you remember, Star Wars fans, the video game was awesome. Tony Hawk Underground 2. MVP Baseball 2000. I'm just going to say 2005. It might have been 4. I don't remember. Whichever one had Manny Ramirez on the front. That's that one. And then College Hoops 2K7. That 5-game rotation was my bread and butter. So, and then obviously I graduated to the PS3. Was pretty late getting the PS3. Obviously because that was a more pricey console, and, I didn't have that type of money at the time. And, my parents didn't get me one just because, they thought I had enough video games. So it took me a while to get into the PS3, and then, obviously all the Modern Warfares were my bread and butter on that. And then pretty sure I got a PS4. Trying to think. Pretty sure I got the PS4 I want to say the fall of 2015 is when I got my PS4. So probably about a year or two after it, probably about a good year and a half, 2 years at the most since it came out. Because I remember when I bought my PS3 was right around the time that PS4 had just come out. So yeah. So the moral of that story is I've never bought a console at launch. I don't think I'm going to get, and for the obvious reason. Now, one, obviously I'm just not ready to, I'm just not ready to drop $500 today. Well, it came out yesterday, but I'm not ready to drop $500 just yet. Also, another part of it is I kind of wanted to wait, because, a lot of consoles and phones and major electronics like that, a lot of times at launch, they have some bugs and issues and just little things happen. Like we saw the fucking Xbox, which I don't know what happened, or I don't know what happened, but the fucking Xbox Series X that had smoke coming up from it. I don't know what that was all about. Have not seen anything else like that happen on either console, but just bugs and things like that. I'm like, I don't need to buy it just yet. I'm having plenty fun with my PS4 right now, but I'm thinking I don't know. I might do it on Black Friday. I might do it sometime in December, but I'm thinking I'll probably switch over to PS5. Probably switch over by Christmas and then just sell the PS4. And then I actually meant to look that up. I can because I've got the gold PS4 1 terabyte, so I can probably get every bit of 250 to 300. I'm curious. I know I could have gotten 300 for it before the PS5 came out. I don't know if the value dropped since the release. So that's actually what I'm about to look up right now. Actually, genuine 300, 350. That's listing price. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. With with 2 controllers, which I have. Yeah, I can get every bit of 250 to 300 for this thing. So the way I look at it, sell it. That's already half or a little over half already paid for the PS5. So that shouldn't be an issue. But oh shit! I just realized I didn't turn my ring light on. Boom. That'll wake your ass up. What was I talking about? There we go. So yeah, PS5's out. As far as what I've heard lately, as far as how it's going, after launch, I have heard that I was watching something on IGN. I like to watch the Daily Fix on occasions, that little mini show that IGN does daily, aka the name Daily Fix. And they were saying something about how certain games were, struggling to load. I don't know. I'm not even going to go into it because I'm not even 100% sure what they were trying to say. But what I do know, which I already knew it was going to be a thing, was kind of the lack of memory size at this point by the PS5. I'm not sure what the exact number is, but I'm pretty sure usable gigabytes, because every phone or console, it tells you it's got this amount of memory, but there's always that little tiny chunk or percentage that you can't use because it's like got system stuff on it. But I'm pretty sure there's like 620, 30, 600 some usable gigabytes on the PS5, which I don't know what the sizes are of these PS5 games. I mean, I'm guessing because of what some of these PS5 games look like Black Ops, 2K, and just this next gen stuff that looks incredible, by the way. And naturally, you would assume the sizes of these games are going to be massive. Maybe not. Like maybe that's an upgrade to the PS5. Maybe they're able to make these incredible games and it's less, which I doubt it, because that's just not how these things work. But yeah, so people are already having issues with the memory size, which once I saw how much, 600 some, I knew that was going to be an issue, because it's which I would say, and I don't have a PS5 yet, obviously, so it's hard for me to judge, but just based on what I'm hearing, that is kind of the only thing that I think I'm kind of, because I'm excited as shit to get one, but I would say that's the only thing that I'm slightly bummed out that wasn't. And it's early. It's early too, by the way. So it's not, I don't expect this is the way it's always going to be, because there's going to be external hard drives that you can use. And, there's going to be obviously updated PS5s that have greater memory. But I was kind of bummed out because aside from graphics and load times and a new high-tech controller, one of the things that I thought for sure that the PS5 was going to have, from the get on launch day, was at least 2 terabytes of memory, because one of the biggest issues on the PS4 that obviously the PS3 didn't have was the memory size. You got to you get to a point and you got to delete games in order to bring on new ones. Obviously the PS3 didn't have that. You just popped it in and played it, which obviously, different animal, different graphics, different generation, obviously. But I don't know. I just thought that was such a noticeable issue. And like I said, it's early, so they probably know this and they're working on it, I would assume. But it's I thought for sure, the fact that we've already got a 1 terabyte PS4, I thought for sure we would probably have at least a 1 terabyte PS5 to start, maybe even 2. That was my assumption, but hopefully that's well on the way. So, so Black Ops Cold War, that came out at midnight last night, I think, or yesterday sometime. I did play the beta. I did enjoy it. I will say that, and I'm curious to see how this works out. Like I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. I thought that sniping was a bit too easy. I thought pistol play was a little too easy, just to whip out a pistol and brrr. I don't know. I don't know if that was because it was the beta and maybe they've tweaked it, and maybe they made it easier for the beta, so you felt good about yourself. Like, oh, I'm good at this game. Let me buy it. Like, who knows? But I thought that was a little too easy. I felt like, man, I didn't have an issue with the movements, but it was obviously completely different than Modern Warfare. It was a little more, I don't know how to describe this. The game itself, like the physics, the way the guns feel, and just the way you run and slide and jump, Modern Warfare feels a little more heavy and grounded, and it feels like it has more weight to it, if that makes sense. And Black Ops feels a little more arcade style, if that makes sense. It's a little more, I don't know. That's just the best way I can describe it. Modern Warfare did a really good job. And by the way, that's why I think all the Modern Warfares, whether you're talking about back on the PS3 or now the new rebooted Modern Warfare that we've gotten, that's been a complete hit this year, I think one of the reasons that those games have always been a hit, and things like Advanced Warfare and Infinite Warfare and, some of the newer Black Ops 3 and 4, I think the reasons that some of those games weren't as good and kind of flopped, quite frankly. I mean, I know people loved Black Ops 2, and some people like 3 and 4, but not as much, I don't think. And then obviously not as much as the original Black Ops, is because I think we like that boots on the ground, realistic warfare type shit. I always felt like that was why COD 4 and Modern Warfare 2 was a hit, and I think that's why rebooting, for kind of where our video games are now for the new Modern Warfare, I think that was a brilliant idea. And now I think that's why it did so well. I think that's why Warzone did so well, because you got that Modern Warfare mixed in with Battle Royale, which is a current, we love our Battle Royale. And I don't know. I think that's why the Modern Warfares have always done so well. And the jetpack up in the air type shit, like Infinite Warfare, Advanced Warfare, and then the new, kind of the more futuristic Black Ops 3, Black Ops 4, that's why they didn't do as well for some reason. So, but I'm curious to see how they integrate Black Ops into Warzone. That's and by the way, even though I talked about the physics difference for I still think it's a good, I'm still excited to play it. I'm excited to get it. I don't think it's going to be the hit that Modern Warfare is, but I think it's going to be a hit to a degree, just not as much as Modern Warfare. So we'll see, but I think that's the biggest thing I'm curious about. Oh, I also don't we've been kind of spoiled with Modern Warfare. I like the fact that we can open and barge through doors. And you don't get that in Black Ops. And that, I found myself, I would go up to a door and want to open it, and it's like, oh shit, I can't. Those kind of limitations. I feel like those are going to be some of the reasons that people don't like it as much, because we've gotten so used to Modern Warfare. And so, by the way, Thanksgiving's 2 weeks away. How nuts is that? I'm so excited. You can't. My energy is low right now. I apologize. My energy. It's 10:20. This is about the latest I've done a podcast episode, but I'm trying to get myself in the habit of doing one a day. Like, that's really what I'm trying to get myself to do, to get in that habit. Regardless of how now, obviously, if it's fucking maybe even if it's midnight, I'll fucking do it. I don't give a shit. But like, I'm trying to get myself in the habit of getting one episode out a day on YouTube to kind of get that going. That's something I've talked about a lot, and I haven't executed on it as much as I intended to. And so that's something I'm trying to work on. But holidays, like 2 weeks, Thanksgiving, 2 weeks from today, Black Friday. I can't wait for Black Friday this year. Is going to be different, I assume. I assume this is probably going to be the biggest Cyber Monday of all time, legit, because so many people are going to stay in and not probably go out this year for Black Friday. So you're going to see that a lot. But yeah, it's crazy how fast everything got here. The holidays, all of it. Like, it's nuts. I personally don't give a shit. Like, I'm going out on Black Friday. Like, here's the thing about me. You don't mess with my holidays. You don't mess with my holiday traditions. Like, Black Friday's we go, like, me and my buddy Patrick, we go out, we go shopping, we go get coffee, get food. Like, Black Friday's like a holiday in and of itself for us. So, COVID, no COVID, I don't give a shit. Mask up, I'm going out. So, it's just the way it is. Tradition's tradition. Oh, by the way, NBA season supposed to start up December 22nd, which to me, I was just telling my buddy the other day, that's nuts, because it's kind of it was kind of trippy a little while ago back when the playoffs were going on. I think it was during the conference finals, and I was just looking at, because we, remember how hyped up the Clippers were when they first got Kawhi and Paul George, and I was watching some of those early games in the NBA season last year. And what's nuts is, like, it was kind of trippy because the playoffs were going on in October, and literally that's the month that usually the NBA season starts, at the end of the month or midway through the month, whatever it is. And I'm like, holy shit, like, we're still in this season. Like, we've been in this NBA season for an entire year. Like, that's nuts. And now, literally in a month, we're starting it up again. Like, how crazy is that? So I don't mind it. Well, from a fan who loves to watch and cover such things perspective, like, I love it, because it's like, oh shit, we get it right back again. Now, if I was in the player's shoes, I'd probably feel a little different. That's going to be probably a little challenging for them, a little tough. I'm curious to see. I mean, obviously we had the playoff bubble, so I'm curious to see, how. I mean, obviously we're having NFL games, at the actual stadiums that they play at, their home stadiums. So I'm curious to see how the NBA is going to go forward with, playing games as usual. I mean, they've got, November 13th, they've got a little over a month to get, which obviously I'm sure they've probably got it. They're getting it together as we speak, but I hope I'm able to go to some Hornets games this year. I know that probably means nothing to any of you, because it's the Hornets. I get it, but Hornet fan. So I'm curious to see who the Hornets get in the draft. I don't know. My gut tells me they're not going to get LaMelo Ball. Like, I think LaMelo Ball is going to be the most legit out of all the Ball brothers. Like, Lonzo was way overhyped, and he just ain't that character. LiAngelo, I mean, he might be I don't know if he'll ever get into the NBA, maybe a little as like a role player for a little bit. I think LaMelo's the legit, like, star player among them. That's kind of what my intuition feels like. I don't think he's going to go to the Hornets. I actually think I saw where it could be a good shot that they get James Wiseman, which I would not have a problem with at all. And I don't think it's going to happen now, because it sounds like, I don't know where Russell Westbrook's going to go, but I saw it was trending where the Hornets could have been a good landing spot for Russell Westbrook, which on a hype perspective and as a Hornets fan and somebody who would love to see a big name come to the Hornets, I would love to have Russell Westbrook, but as somebody who's trying to look at the actual process that the Charlotte Hornets are going through right now with a very young team, I don't know if, looking at the actual bigger picture, as somebody who understands sports and kind of building franchises and things like that and the actual nitty gritty of how these things actually work, not just a fan's perspective. I don't think Russell Westbrook would be a good idea because we all know how Russell Westbrook is. And the whole reason he wants out of Houston is because he wants the ball, which, wouldn't be an issue. But I think if you brought on Russell Westbrook, I think that would hinder Devontae Graham's development that has gone very well up to this point. PJ Washington, others, and then whoever they get in the draft, whatever star that they get in the draft, whether that's LaMelo Ball, whether that's that dude out of Georgia, whether that's James Wiseman, I don't think Russell Westbrook would be a good idea. I will say this, and maybe, I haven't heard anything. But what if this was a possibility? I do think if you were going to bring on a big name like that, that's a veteran, Russell Westbrook, he's a veteran, but he's also still kind of in his prime. I think where bringing on a veteran star player, if you wanted to go that route, Chris Paul, I think would work very well because one, I don't think he would impede any of the growth of the other young players because I think he would understand the situation clearly, and clearly he's okay with that because that's what he literally just had to deal with the Thunder that I think none of us saw coming, that they would actually be a contender, not for a finals, but just a contender to be like a threat in the playoffs in any way. Like, I don't think any of us saw that coming, and that's due in part to the fact that Chris Paul bought in and he tried his best to help develop those young players. And so that could potentially work for the Hornets, bringing on Chris Paul, not to mention he's from North Carolina, Winston-Salem. So I don't know. I'm holding out hope that one day, still a little ways to go, I'm hoping that the Hornets build out this foundation, build up this young talent, whoever, what they already have, what they're about to get in the draft, whoever they get in free agency along the way. And then they bring on Steph Curry to be the cherry on top to finish out his career with the Hornets, where his dad played and was a legend and is a broadcaster now currently. Like, how perfect, like, I get it, Steph Curry is the Warriors, but how perfect would it be, considering he's from Charlotte, his dad's a legend there, his dad's a broadcaster there, how perfect would it be for him to finish out and put a bow on his career and bring Charlotte back into the picture? I say back. They were never really ever in the picture in their entire franchise history, really. To bring them in the picture for the first time ever and then ride off into the sunset. How perfect would that be? Like I said, fingers crossed. But yeah, so that's kind of what I'm thinking about. That's all. That's probably all I have for tonight. I'm gassed. Like, I'm getting tired. I got a few more things to do before I go to bed. Like, I plan to go a little further, and I think I'll talk about this tomorrow. Jerry Jones and what he had to say about the potential of getting Trevor Lawrence and Dak, and what if Trevor Lawrence decided to maybe not go to, or what if the Jets decided to pass on Trevor Lawrence and build around Sam Darnold? What if that's a possibility? I kind of wanted to get into that. Little Star Wars Mandalorian, kind of wanted to get into that too, but quite frankly, I'm ready to shut it down. I'm gassed. I got a few more things to do. And that's that. I don't want to get, it's time to shut it down. So I just feel my energy just continues to pull, but I got a good 30 minutes in. That's good stuff. Hey, progress. That is the key, little by little. making progress. So, yeah, that's that. I appreciate everybody listening, watching here on YouTube, and we will catch you tomorrow at some point. Because, like I said, I don't give a fuck, even if it's midnight. We're doing it. We got the show has to go on. So, hope you guys have a good rest of your night. Hope you have a good weekend. If I don't see you the rest of the weekend, but hopefully I'll see some of you tomorrow. So, Will Dalton, aka Wilbur and Gold. This has been the Wilbur and Gold Show. We'll see you next time.